let's start with this concept of speed and agility and customization. I think, the real challenge here with this one is that our end customers, our MSP partners, they typically want a solution that can be stood up really, really quickly with really agile implementation methodology, but also then have it customized to all of the specific requirements of the customer to ensure relevancy.
Well, you're right, Jack. This is literally the classic request when it comes to system implementation. We'll hear it time and time again. We always will. So the request is we need the system to do exactly what we want it to do. It needs to support the current embedded processes, the systems, and even the organizational culture of the organization it's going to be implemented for. And we also need it ready to go in the next couple of weeks. And my thoughts on this are, well, sure, this is a challenge. This is always going to be a challenge, but why shouldn't an organization be able to expect all of those things? If you've attended any of our previous online events, you may recall an event last year where we implemented a new customer into our VMS in 7 minutes. No tricks, no misdirection. That's just the power of native and the multi-tenancy. So we talked there about reusing the existing workflows you have for a client, but what if you need something new? Well, luckily that's no problem either, and it still requires no developers and no backlog. I'm going to demonstrate the tooling we use to make this possible shortly, but before we do, I just want to demonstrate some of the other benefits and key features of multi-tenancy that allow us to be so agile in our approach. So what we can see here is an example of our VMS system. Now, everything you're about to see is all within the one system. It's all in the one environment. So firstly, one of the things we'd like to point out, a question that comes up quite often is, but if I don't have my own environment for each customer, how can I have branding? How can they have the look and feel that they want? Well, that's absolutely possible. You can see here the same system. You can tell I've got the same tasks, the same everything essentially, but new color schemes, new graphics, new logos. This spans across the whole system right from the login page onwards. So this is something you can have in place. It really helps with system adoption and making users feel at home. You can also see right here, now we're not going to jump into the administration of a system, don't worry, but what you can see here is straight away you've got a list of your clients. You start the customization yourself. You don't have to have any reliance externally for that. You just do all of the setup yourself. We'll jump back out of the application for a sec, and we're going to go into the workflow configuration tool that I mentioned earlier. And what we're seeing here is a tool that I demo quite often, and a fairly frequent misconception is that this is essentially a diagram tool. So it's like a Visio or just something to make the diagram, the flow. But actually this is the programming tool itself. And what we're looking at here is a job requisition workflow. This is a very, very simple workflow where a new requisition is created and it's immediately sent out to an MSP team. Now, changing this workflow really is as simple as us bringing in a new status, linking them up, and from here we will then say we're putting an HR approval step in place essentially. So we will go through, we will label these transitions to whatever they need to be, and from there we will save, and then we promote that directly into your test environment right from the system here. There's no developers involved, there's no backlog. We can even do this collaboratively on a call together or back in the good old days where we sat in a meeting room together and did these sort of things.